it is because
let's stop on that, folks.
Oh my God, we had a great dinner. We had a great dinner, by the way. We're across the reasons. I mean, we've talked about this that often I date younger men, and a lot of it is because
let's stop on that, folks.
Oh my God, we had a great dinner. We had a great dinner, by the way. We're across the table. Your husband goes, but why? And I said, well, maybe because I can.
Yes, Parish. This is what I'm saying. Tales from Tracee's.
It's fun. It's really fun to share.
Tracee tale.
But
I'm sorry.
But one of the reasons, though, that because I had to ask myself that question, I was like, what is this about?
Yeah.
Because I want a partner, and so often, and it's not just that I'm older. I'm also very embodied. I am a full, very whole person who knows myself, who is in charge of my life, and who lives a very full, just robust life. So it's not just age, it's like life experience and sort of a difference. But I had to ask myself the question, why? Why does this keep sort of coming up other than they're hot and gorgeous?
There's that.
But a lot of men my age are steeped in a toxic masculinity and have been raised in a culture where there is a particular way that a relationship looks. And anything that starts to smell of that for me, I did enough of it where I was controlled and felt like I was a possession or whatever those things were, or prize and I have no interest in it, and I will not do it again.
All right. Can I say something initially? I believe, well, that particular statement almost goes totally against the perceived notion we were giving her in the first place. Right? Dating a younger, so it's almost like maybe she could date a regular guy. You get what I'm saying? Because the first thing she said is that I felt like I was some kind of prize or some of that nature, right? So that would be a guy with either similar social status or higher social status, bringing her to the thing, saying, look what I got kind of on my arm. When a younger guy, possibly a regular guy, because now if we're talking younger guys in Hollywood, they're probably dating younger chicks in Hollywood, right? They're probably they're in their own little circle. So to me, it almost seems like, she seems to be attracted to.
She want to be the boss.
Possibly.
Let me read the.
So that kind of I'm just saying that kind of goes against what we were kind of chatting about.
Definition for toxic masculinity.
Oh, here we go. That thing again.
A set of attitudes and ways of behaving stereotypically associated with or expected of men, regarded as having a negative impact on men, on society. I guess don't endorse this shit. As a whole. The destructive messages associated with toxic masculinity can lead to men feeling entitled to engage in violence against women. Like, it went that hard. Like,
that all the way to violence.
That's the Oxford definition of toxic masculinity.
No, I don't.
So it's like stereotypical behaviors and everything like that. It's like
masculinity is like a gun. It's like a gun in the wrong hands, right?
Got you.
I think masculinity is toxic when it's in the hands of a woman, when she's trying to be masculine. But she doesn't know how to handle that. Because ultimately, naturally, she is feminine, right? And that's going against her God-given nature. And that's why it becomes toxic. And that's how they view it in that way, right?
Okay.
Because a woman that's ultimately feminine, divinely feminine, has no one with a masculine man. It's always the ones that are on the cusp of, like, quote unquote, calling themselves alpha and all that other shit like that.
Yeah.
And they said they're a masculine woman. Those are the ones that have a problem with masculinity from men.
Yeah.
Because there's a headbutt, right? The man is naturally that way. You're the one that's kind of out of order in a sense.
Oh boy.
Not the woman, not the man.
Yeah.
Because that's the man's nature in a sense, right? Masculinity is related to man. So if it's toxic, it's because you're giving some of that, you're trying to take some of that masculinity, and we're bumping heads now. because it's like two dudes getting into an altercation.
Can I sidebar that a little bit?
Sure.
Could toxic? Okay, could. All right, so I'm with you as far as masculinity is. It's supposed to be what we are. That's supposed to be our baseline, right? We're supposed to be tough enough to handle things and yada yada yada. Does it become toxic? Do they mean toxic, or do they mean like entitlement? Because let's just say it's one thing to be masculine enough to protect, but when you expect, let's say, walking in and saying, "Hey, I want my dinner like this," or "I want it," you know what I'm saying? That like a level of entitlement that makes it toxic. It's a like because you're a woman, you're supposed to do this. You're supposed to do that.
Well, yeah, all right. What's the difference between saying like, "Hey, I'm hungry. Where's my dinner?" Or "I want my dinner like this" as a man, or for the women coming in and being like, "Hey, my tire's flat in the driveway."